On Sunday, Justice Minister Kiri Tapualan announced plans to amend rules to improve the public's ability to object to a new or renewed alcohol licence application and also remove the ability of the liquor industry to appeal local alcohol policies. Public Health Agency Hāpai Te Hauora Chief Executive Officer Selah Hart says the changes can't come soon enough, and she's with us now. Tēnā koe, Selah. Thank you for joining us.
Kia ora.
A decade of studies and reports detailing the harm alcohol advertising and sponsorship does. How are you feeling about the planned reforms? Do they go far enough?
Well, firstly, we must commend Minister Kiri Tapualan for at least taking this first step. It doesn't go far enough because what we do understand is that the harm perpetuated through communities by alcohol is long-lasting. It has been centuries long that we have had to bear the brunt of harm. And so whilst we do commend the Minister today on her announcement on Sunday, there is so much more ground we need to travel.
Now, you've said the current regime has created a David and Goliath situation. What do you mean by this?
Yeah, so currently what exists as part of law is that there is an opportunity for challenges to occur when either local community or the liquor industry want to debate whether or not their licence should go ahead. We can give a prime example. Being an organisation working in public health for over 26 years, we put in a objection to a liquor licence down in the Waikato region. We're owned by Waikato Tainui through their health arm. We weren't given standing as a reputable public health organisation looking to address the harms caused by alcohol in the Tainui Rohe. For us not to be given standing, what does that mean for local community and individuals? You know, that's the David and Goliath scenario that we're currently battling with, and we want to see that undone. We want to be given communities to be given their voices back and for it to be heard, and that not to be letting the tobacco lobby be the Goliath in this situation.
So who's the David and who's the Goliath?
We're talking about an industry that has a huge amount of resource that can continue to push, individuals, whānau, community or agencies like us through a long process of hearings and legal battle until they get the outcome that they're looking for, and that's to award them with a liquor licence for them to be able to distribute and sell those products. Currently what we have does not allow for those without or with limited resource to actually win a fair case in the legal system.
I see. So you're talking about those who have a lot of resources, the Goliath will have more opportunity the Davids, the smaller areas, the smaller people won't have the opportunity to push through the Goliaths. That's what you're saying, the objection?
And that's what's already happening. You know,
Yep.
We've got a current case in Auckland and Tamaki Makaurau where the supermarkets and alcohol industry and lobby have been holding a process of about 7 years to be able to restrict some of the sales of alcohol across the biggest region in Aotearoa. And so that's unjust, it's unfair and it's unreasonable when whānau are screaming out that we don't need any more liquor outlets on our community streets.
So, what difference do you think this new plan will make to communities like South Auckland, an area often targeted by alcohol businesses and outlets?
Yeah, so this current announcement that the Minister has made will give the opportunity for objections to not be going through as they previously were. I think, though, to answer your question, it isn't far enough, and we're mindful that Kiri Tapu has mentioned there is going to be some further announcements in March 2023. What we do need to see and what we know needs to happen is we need to heavily reduce the availability of alcohol. So we need to strip out the communities that are just seeping in alcohol stores. We don't need 5 on one corner area in the community of Otara. We have an oversupply in communities that already suffer the harm of alcohol, and so why do we need more? Why are we going through this process and these legal battles when we know that there is a significant oversupply of alcohol in the areas that are most susceptible to harm? We also understand that at the moment, the Crown has failed its obligations under Te Tiriti. They have not acted in good partnership. They have not protected us from an introduced product, and they have stalled our ability to participate in the process. So, if we're looking at a way forward, we need to start to address the underlying failures of the Crown and start to build back better solutions that are by Māori, for Māori, with support of the Crown.
Yeah, because the alcohol lobby is incredibly powerful. There's a lot of money there. Do you feel then that the government has clarified these changes well enough? Is there anything in the fine print that could bring potentially any surprises, new surprises for you?
We know that the alcohol lobby and other harmful commodity product industries will fight tooth and nail, because at the end of the day, their product comes before our people. And I think that's what we have to really be aware of. And obviously, whatever the announcements are that the government plan to make in March 2023, we hold our breath and hope that it will be some significant and powerful changes. What we can see right now, and we've done it in the tobacco control space, is that we can regulate, we can reduce the availability, we can control the price point that these products can be available, and we can reduce or make it illegal for sponsorship and advertising to be seeping through all areas of our community. Those are some really easy and tangible items that we can look to that have already worked in tobacco control. The sky didn't fall when we took smoking out of pubs and clubs. There are other mechanisms from a public health perspective that we could look to implement. But I think what it really comes back to is, how do we make sure that it is a financially viable way forward? Obviously, we need to talk about excise tax. What is the tax take from these products that are harming our communities far and wide across Aotearoa and abroad? And what can we then do to reinvest into support services that are going to help our whānau who are suffering the burden of alcohol harm and addiction?
Are you confident of success?
I hope so. I'm always an optimist. We have a Māori wahine at the helm of the decision-making process. So it is on Kiritapu to actually stand back and look at the current environment in which our whānau are thriving or not thriving, and put in some hard yards and actually make some hard calls so that we can address the perpetuation of harm that alcohol continues to cause for whānau Māori and all communities across Aotearoa.
Selah, what would you like to see happen next?
I think we need to have a big and bold discussion. I think that we need to also have Māori in leadership, not just the Crown sort of articulating what they think we need. There needs to be a robust conversation with communities and with Māori up and down the country, so that we can see what is actually needed, what can we do in a tangible way, what is financially viable, what is not going to lead us into long-lasting court cases with the alcohol lobby, because we know that that will be one of the things that will hold us up. But I think at the end of the day, we need to look at affordability. We need to look at minimum unit pricing of alcohol. We shouldn't be selling single cans that are available for $1 or $2. We should be looking at the billboards and the marketing that are associated with alcohol, because it's normalising alcohol for our tamariki mokopuna. That shouldn't be the thing in this day and age. It doesn't need to happen. We need the the government to step in and overtake the sponsorship of alcohol, so that some of these sporting codes can detach themselves from alcohol sponsorship, because we know that it is a hard road, especially at the grassroots level, to survive without that sponsorship. So we need some actual tangible economic decisions made. And I think we need to, at the heart of it, start to build and create environments that actually help our whānau to thrive. And liquor stores on every corner in South Auckland is not the way forward.
Selah Hart from Hāpai Te Hauora, thank you so much for your time today.
Kia ora.